Hello everybody and welcome back to another collections video. Every 100,000 subscribers I show you another collection of mine. I asked in the comments a few weeks ago and some people suggested hand planes, and it is the one collection that is somewhat easily accessible. So here we're going to talk about my hand planes, and these are the majority of the hand planes and tools that I use on a daily basis. I have a whole bunch on the wall that I never ever use, that I've had since I was a kid. Once in a long while I'll pull out a really long jack plane and I'll show you some of those as well. But I'm going to start with the collection that I typically use, and just as a matter of sentimentality, I'm going to show you this. This is a low-angle apron plane or a low-angle block plane by Veritas. This is 10 years old, and it is rusty because I use it constantly. And I do clean it off from time to time. I take it completely apart, and I'll fix the shoe up, and I'll buff it, and I'll clean it, but it's been a while since I've done that. This particular hand plane was given to me by Nick Offerman when we worked on the canoe project together. It's really the first time that I took close notice of a real quality hand plane. You know that I'm not the finest woodworker there is. I do fine woodworking very rarely, but of course you always need a hand plane and planes to just do general woodworking. And so when Nick gave me this as a gift for working with him on the canoe project, I really took note of the quality and sort of the sexy design with the 3 holes and the grip. And I used it so often that I was constantly sharpening it, so when I went to buy a new blade, I ended up just buying another one. And then this is the one that me and Dave ended up carrying all the time whenever we went on jobs. I painted it white in the beginning, just playing around with my branding, painting everything white. But these are the 2 hand planes that get used in this shop probably the most. This is a Lee Nielsen number 610, and I like this because the cutter is as wide as the shoe, so it can become a shoulder plane if I need to. If I need to really get in right alongside of a wall or something, it works perfectly for that. It also has these cutters here, so you can slice a ribbon before it gets to the blade, which is kind of a cool technique. I have them turned out right now, but every once in a while, if I need to, I can turn them in. So it pre-cuts the grain before it cuts at the actual blade. This is another Lee Nielsen hand plane I have. I guess this is called an apron plane. You guys are all going to correct the hell out of me, I know it, because I don't know the names of anything. But this is also used quite a bit whenever I'm doing edge banding and it's overhanging the plywood or whatever it is I'm doing. This is extremely handy. I use this all the time. These 2 Lee Nielsen planes I bought at a Lee Nielsen show in Brooklyn. I bought them on the spot when I was there. This is the Veritas miter plane. I bought this when I was at Woodworking in America in Kansas City. Every time you walk by those tables, you just can't help yourself. I think this was about $300. It's got this side handle so you can make a shooting board, and you can flip it to the other side if you're a lefty. So it's nice about this. I usually don't keep this on here. I just put it on for the video. This is a scrub plane from Tischler. ECE. Did I say that right? Tischler Workerzig. You guys probably recognize this. My buddy Rain, who's my editor at Core 77, bought me this and this at the German Tool Show just about a year ago. And these actually are really, really good planes. I never used a wood plane before I got these, and now I really have a lot of respect for them. I just never considered them. This is a scrub plane, so it's not really meant for an edge board, but so that really makes fast work of cutting down a irregular surface. We'll hit it with this little block plane. This is a hand plane that Laura Kamp brought me from Germany as a gift when she came to visit me here in New York. I haven't really got a chance to use it yet, but it's right in the family with these other 2 guys. Ah, that's nice. I never used it before. It seems nice. I have 2 shoulder planes from Veritas, and from time to time when I feel like I need to spend some money for tax write-offs or I just want to treat myself, I always look to go buy a plane. And these 2 planes I bought for that reason. I got this one and I liked it so much I ended up buying this one. This is the 3/4 inch shoulder plane. And this is the 1.25 inch. This thing is sturdy as hell and it's sharp as hell. is a Stanley plane I've had for at least 20 years. It's been kicking around down here. So before I got any of these fancy planes, I would always use this. Really more for like the edge of a door or something. But then I started getting into more fine woodwork in the last 10 years. Then I could appreciate a really good hand plane. This is a little shoulder plane I picked up at a garage sale many, many years ago. It obviously is meant to have all kinds of attachments on it. I'm sure some of you will know the attachments that it's missing. But I picked it up and I wanted a shoulder plane before I ended up spending money on some of these fancier ones. And I keep this blade sharp and it actually works fairly well. This I got at Woodworking in America. This is what you might call a circular plane or a circle plane. And you see it's got this spring-loaded bottom. And you can go inside of something. Again, you know, if you're going to do barrel work or build inside of a boat, you tighten these up and now you have a surface to work inside of. Or you can work over a surface. And you can work on the outside of a curved hull or a barrel, for instance. And I bought this specifically to do a project, and I haven't gotten into it yet. But when I do get to that project, I'll use this tool. This little tool is like a little one-edged plane. Somebody at home could probably tell me exactly what it's called. But it was in a toolbox that I bought. It's a Stanley number 99. I haven't used it yet, but it's got this cool little edge. I'm sure this has a very specific purpose. Maybe somebody out there could tell me. You guys remember I talked about a gentleman named Ed Wood who I visited maybe in my tin type vlog. And I bought this from him for like 25 bucks. It's a little beat up. The nickel's peeled off of it quite a bit. This might be a Stanley number 90. It has number 90 on it. And I think it says Stanley, although it doesn't say it on there anywhere, which is not characteristic of a Stanley tool. But it's a nice little shoulder plane. This comes off and you can get right up at something. You run your chances because it doesn't have a shoe on it at that point. It's a good little tool to have in the event you need it for that type of situation. And this was also a flea market buy. This was like $5. I don't know if this is a famous tool or not. It looks kind of poorly cast, although I don't know much about this particular tool. It has a name on here that's hard to read. If anybody knows anything about this brass shoulder plane, you could tell me a little bit about it. But I'm not going to Puerto Rico in the morning. Ah! Oh, works great. I don't even need to sharpen that right out of the flea market like that. Boy, that's great. Okay, this is the back corner of the shop, and what you see here are 4, 5, 6, and 7 planes that I hardly ever use. From time to time, I'll use these long joiner planes or these jack planes simply because I don't have a joiner. But for the most part, everything I would need this for, I can get done with the table saw. So I just haven't used these that much. I'll keep them forever just because they're cool. And you never know. That's my theory. You just never know. That's the classic hoarder's problem. You just never know when you're going to need it. So most of these I've had since I was a kid. My dad had these. A couple of these might even belong to my grandfather. Some of these older rusty ones that have been like sitting in the basement for a really long time. Back to the bench. I always buy old toolboxes and just tool lots from time to time. And when I bought this table saw in the back, you see the table saw? When I bought this table saw off Craigslist and I got there, the old timer was giving everything away. And because he liked me, he gave me a bunch of stuff. What we have here is a little router plane from Stanley. A Stanley number 71.5. This is probably very sought after tool. But I haven't had a chance to use it yet, but it's in really good shape, so I keep it around. One of these days I'll need it for something. And it's actually pretty sharp, and the adjustment still works really well. It's a great little piece right there. In that same haul, I got this. This is a number 81 scraper. And you just put a scraper in there, and it works really well. I buy stuff like this at garage sales and flea markets. This is a scraper. Yep, this is made by Starrett. And it's a scraper. It's got that curved scraper in it. If you loosen this ball up, you could move the ball around, make it flat. And you could change the angle of this scraper to anything you want. This is a great tool. This is going to be great when I build my canoe. I'm going to be building a canoe in an upcoming video series. And again, scrapers. This is a Stanley number 82. This is a scraper tool. It has all these adjustments on them to be able to change the angle of attack. This one I don't use that much. I just took it off the wall. But it's great to know I have it when I need it if you want to. I have a regular razor blade in there right now. And if you need to get a nasty burl, this is a good, you get all your shoulders into the act. And this is great. I just picked this up not too long ago. And this is a little hand plane on a little push stick. And this is also great if you're going to be working on a boat. You could push, or you could pull. That's what's nice about this. And because it has this curved head, you can go inside of a concave situation, like the hull of a canoe, for instance. It's a great little tool. Again, when I bought all that stuff with the gentleman who gave me this saw, he had all these Stanley tools. This is a Stanley number 66, and it's for making beadboard. And I'm just going to go straight down the middle of this scrap wood here and see what it comes up with. The good thing, this is one of those tools that you wish you had it if you needed it. I keep it around. I know I could always just cut up my own cutting head if I ever needed to. I could just grind up my own shape right here. This is a Veritas spokeshave, which is just a high quality product, and it makes fast work. It makes fast work of putting curves on stuff, shaving any particular spokes you might need to shave. Hence the name spokeshave. These are some other ones that I got in and around garage sale buys and toolbox buys. And since I have this beautifully precisioned object, I don't really clean any of these up. But I have them in case I need them for any sort of special operation or custom tooling. I don't know what model this is, but it's a number 4 spokeshave with a bit of cup in there. And I haven't used this. This is from a toolbox find, and it's got some really serious chip out here. So I'm not even going to try and pull it through. I don't think I'll be able to. This is again one of those tools I keep around in the odd chance that I'll need it. You just never know. So it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. What's in this box is my final plane for the collection, and I saved it for last because it's really, really, really cool. Some of you might know Marco Terenzi. I hope I'm saying your name right, Marco. Marco makes miniature tools, and when I first started finding Marco's stuff on Instagram, I was completely amazed and inspired. I have a hard time with precision things, small precision things. And if I'm back to the wall and I need to make something really tiny, I think to myself, how would Marco do it? I could never do it as good as him, but at least I could try. Take a look at this. This is how it came, and because I know this is going to be worth millions of dollars one day, I don't throw away any of the packing. This is Marco. Look him up on Instagram. I'm telling you, you will be absolutely amazed. To my cameraman, if you feel like audibly gasping when you see this, you're welcome to. Marco hand makes these 25, maybe 20, 25 at a time. Marco made this modeled after, I think, a Lee Nielsen number 62 long jack plane, and it is absolutely exact replica, down to the fact it's got type on it, but instead it says his name here, number 62, back here, made in the USA. I think this is all boxwood, and it's amazing because the grain on the boxwood is so tiny. He literally machines each one of these threaded pieces. He makes all the screws by hand. He casts the whole shoe and then shines it. He hand casts all the parts, I think, right in his own shop. It's exact right down to the fact that it actually works. It's got a movable chip breaker. I don't like touching this too much because I destroy everything with my hands. The chip breaker actually moves. I'm going to leave it open a little bit and tighten the knob. I'm going to take a pass on this. I haven't really used it much, and there's no reason to use it other than just to keep it precious. But keep in mind, Marco makes all these in his shop, alone by himself with his own casting equipment, with his own hands. If you take a look at Marco's Instagram, you'll see all the amazing things he's replicated in miniature. I can't say enough about how impressed I am with what this young man can accomplish. I just want to say thank you very much. 900,000 at 1 million. I'm not sure what collections I have more to share, but if you guys have any ideas for 1 million, let me know. Thank you very much.